So, hello and welcome to another English video of mine, and today we are going to look at the JVC TD-X401 stereo cassette deck. This cassette deck, I believe, is from 1986 or 87, and it really is a deck that I quite enjoy. I'm gonna sell it because it just have way too many decks. I'll be actually selling it alongside that Onkyo right there. But I do think that this deck really is a sleeper for what it is, and I'll go into that soon. But for now, there's a little bit of a backstory behind why I got this deck. So I have a secondary setup at my other place, and at the time when I bought this, I only had this Onkyo deck, which is kind of underwhelming, and my Tascam deck, which I did a video about. And the Tascam deck was kind of meh, and so was the Onkyo. So I was looking for a better deck, and because I've previously, almost always, apart from one deck, had good experience with JVC, I bought this deck here. Now, of course, the sensor was fully working, and when it arrived, the capstan motor didn't run, which is that big guy right there, and that was a pain in the butt to fix. I had to take apart the whole motor and cleaned it all out and re-greased it or re-lubed it or re-oiled it. There we go, I used oil, for the most part at least. And yeah, I adjusted the speed after, and ever since that it has been working pretty well. I think I replaced it around about half a year, maybe a little bit longer. I replaced it with a TX deck that's much fancier than this, from about the same time period, so it does somewhat match the stack still. And ever since then this deck has just been sitting around, so that's why I'm selling it, along with an Onkyo, which got replaced by a JVC Duo deck actually, funnily enough. Because, yeah, JVC, I just have too much of it. But, yeah, so here's the front of the deck. Pretty simple. Got your power button, nice VFD, Dolby, tape type, input, everything. Got these tape run indicators, which are kind of cool. And, yeah, the transport controls, which are made from metal, which is actually really nice. That's not plastic. There's a tape door, kind of cute little tape icon right in there. And right there are the heads. Pretty basic stuff. So, I said that this is a quite good cassette deck. Now what makes it good? Well, you think, it's a 80s, cheaper-ish full logic cassette deck. So it's probably going to have two motors. And in fact, it says so on the front right there. Focus. However, JVC, once again, they like to do this, said it had two motors, even though it had three. And I'm going to turn this around here without dropping it on the floor, and then we can look at it. There's the back of it, by the way. And there's the three-motor mechanism, which is one of the things that makes this deck so good. Nice flywheel size too. But yeah, it uses these in the configuration of this being the wheel motor, so that's for fast forward and rewind. This is the cam motor, which drives the heads up and down and controls the functions, and then of course is the capstan motor. Now you may ask, well, what makes a three-motor deck be better than a two-motor mech? For the most part, it's just better mechanism functionality. So this Onkyo is from the same time period, and I think about a similar price when new. And this is only a two-motor mechanism. So one thing you'll notice on this deck, for example, is if I put it into play, it's rather clunky. Some people like that. It is kind of cool. But if I put it into pause, and then stop, you notice that there's no difference. And it takes rather long from pause to go back into play. So it's mainly that you just have a much more flexible, quiet, and fast responding mechanism, because this deck can of course go into axle pause and stuff like that, and it's more silent, and usually it's just considered better for the overall mechanism when it's not clunking like that, but running more smoothly like this one. And of course the flywheel on there is really quite huge for the deck. That's not all of it, by the way. It continues on a little bit slimmer in the back, but this uses a plastic disc, and then there's a decently okay-ish sized metal disc on there. And here's the board of the deck, which is pretty simple. The Onkyo has more board inside, but yet it sounds worse. This is the VFD board. This does use standby, so this only turns off the power going from the transformer to the electronics. The transformer does run all the time, which is, you know, a little bit steep, but it's fine. The thing is, back then you weren't really going to have other things in your house that would draw as much standby power as, you know, nowadays, where like every device draws standby. JVC did this for quite a few of their cassette decks, not all of them. I think most of their tuners, and that was it. And I think their turntables too. But then again, back then, you know, you were gonna have your stereo stack drawing 5 watts of standby still, because it just isn't a lot that gets lost in the transformers from my experience. But of course, power does get lost. There's a transformer, by the way. Nicely shielded from the audio electronics, which is actually another W on JVC's part, another win. So yeah, and these decks do really sound good. Like if I compare this deck to the Onkyo right there, to the Technics right there, even though Technics make some good sleeper decks like that one. And even my Nakamitsu, I kid you not, this thing records so much better than Nakamitsu. These are just a little bit better. So yeah, I'm gonna demonstrate it real quick, and that will be the end of the video. But let's put a tape in. Oh, I did that mistake in the German video. I played copyrighted music for a second. I recorded this in the JVC Duo deck right there. Also, you can see it has the nice little hi-fi sticker on there. Wow, this camera sure does not like zooming in like that. There's a little hi-fi sticker like this one has, which is silly, because the DIN 45500 hi-fi standard is not actually that good. So yeah. I did record this tape with Dolby B. So let's try music scan, which you just activate by holding down play, doing playback, and then pressing what direction you want to wind to. And that works just fine. Then I'm just going to press rewind like that, because I'm going to show how the shift button operates. So you have these different features here. Rewind autoplay is where it will rewind to the beginning of a tape and then automatically start playing. That's probably the only actually useful features on these that I found myself using. The Technics deck does it as well, and it is kind of useful. Blank skip, which just skips over a blank section on your tape, which, you know, if you record your tapes properly, you soon have that. Index scan, which, you know, just indexes your tape, so it just fast forwards, plays a bit of a tape, or plays a part of your tape for I think like 15 seconds, and then if you like that part, you just press play to keep on playing it, or it automatically fast forwards to the next track and then does it again. That one is also kind of useful, but my KDV6 does it, so I just usually use that. There's a little button for it right there. And then you have blank starts, which is supposed to locate a blank spot on a tape where you can record onto. I've tried that myself and it didn't really seem to work, so. And record mute, which is of course just those 4 seconds of silence for the music scan to work. So let's press play again. And as I've said, to activate music scan you just hold play and then the wind buttons. To activate the other features you press shift and then the wind, or the, you know, button. So now it's doing index scan and it's found the next song. Now it starts playing that, and I'm not going to press play, and you'll see it just keeps on moving. Give it a tiny bit. And there you go, and it will just keep on doing that. So yeah, that was the JVC TD-X401 cassette deck, which I will be saying goodbye to, but I thought before I do that, I'll take a video of it. So I thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you again in another future video.